Welcome here to this day 2, Saturday's competition at the 2013 PSP Chicago Open, brought to you live by PaintballAccess.com. I'm Matty Marshall, alongside Steve Rabakoff and Chris Lasoya. First game of the day, San Antonio X Factor going to be taking on Omaha Vicious here in the Champions Division. Boys, what do you think about this match?
Well, X Factor, if they get the start that they got yesterday, the 3-0 against Dynasty, 4-0 against Infamous, and they decide to stay out of the penalty box, I think they should go on to win this game possibly if they stay out of the penalty box, Chris.
Well, you know, I mean, Todd's doing a fantastic job with Vicious right now. I mean, I like what he's done with the program. He has some good talent on that team. So, but X Factor is still, like you said, if they get stay out of the penalty box, I think they'll be fine.
Hey, if this game was a race to 3 or 4 instead of a race to 7, X Factor would be the champions right now because they look so amazing in the first 3-4 points, and then just seem to fall apart after that. So it's a very frustrating situation for them. They are obviously going to try to deal with that today and try to keep that intensity and that focus up and try to cut out the penalties. Zach Wake really struggled with some major penalties yesterday. There's Colt Roberts getting ready to go on your screen for San Antonio X Factor. And then on the flip side, man, Vicious, they're going to be on the left-hand side of your screen. Vicious played some really good paintball, strong paintball against the Ironman in their win there. So here we go, first break, first point of Saturday's competition. And it looks like up the gut, here comes Dixon Yang for San Antonio X Factor. He's gonna get up there to that center 50 structure and try to cut down that Dorito side of the field. Oh, and it appears that Vicious has lost Brian Bortle, and also, I believe that's number 85, Matt Sauceman. So 2 bodies die off the break, and Billy Bernaccia capitalizes on that and gets past the 50-yard line on the snake side of the field, dots up Trevor Reeser's eye right on his goggles. So that's 3 fast kills for San Antonio X Factor.
Yeah, they're looking great, moving both sides of the field, and looks like they just lost Dixon Yang right out of the middle here. But here's Colt Roberts going that Dorito side, just putting work on Vicious in the snake corner there. So they just eliminate the last player, Shane Colby.
So the one player left alive right now on Omaha Vicious, getting blown to pieces right there by Colt Roberts. You can see Billy Bernaccia in the snake right there.
Great point for X Factor.
Yeah,
yeah.
Each game.
Talk to me in 4 points.
Yeah, let's see what happens in 4. But
yeah, they looked like this yesterday. Come out strong. You know, if Infamous and them can switch places a little bit, I think they make a stellar team. You know.
Yeah, right.
They're the first half. Infamous takes the second half.
Infamous is not good in the first 3 points, and X Factor is amazing in the first 3 points. So, yeah, very solid game plan. I like that for Coach Ryan Brand and the boys from San Antonio X Factor, who put together a good game plan. They sent Dixon Yang up there, but it was really the ability to get Brian Bortle and Matt Sauceman. They isolated those 2 first bunkers. As soon as you start out that break, you have 5 guys, you got to get them out alive to their bunkers, and they weren't able to get Brian Bortle or Matt Sauceman, and those are big guns, and they really need those guys alive. So, and then right after that, good aggressive move by Billy Bernaccia, who's been playing pretty solid this event, man. He's looking really good right now. So, we're going to be right back with more PSP action here. Don't go anywhere. And we are back here morning, man. We were looking at the schedule here. I'm really excited about Saturday's competition. There are some really great, iconic matchups. The second game of the day is LA Infamous and the Los Angeles Ironman battle, 2 SoCal teams, though Infamous now has a lot of their players centralized within the Midwest. The team's been around for a long time. And then Dynasty and Vicious is going to be that 3rd game. Then Ironman X Factor, Dynasty, Infamous. Let's take a look at the day's schedule there. So, and then we start some challengers teams here, going to be seen on the main field. San Jose Royalty taking on New Jersey Jesters at 12:45, and at 1:30 Seattle Thunder and Chicago Aftershock. Aftershock is actually 2-0. Yeah, so they're looking pretty solid here in the challengers division, fighting to get back to the champions division. And then Edmonton Impact, the Tauntauns 187, Houston Heat, Tampa Bay Damage going to be throwing down this afternoon. So yeah, lots of good paintball coming at you here from CPX Sports. A little outside of Chicago, Illinois. So it appears that Vicious had a penalty on that play. Too many men on the field. So Luis Munoz is going to have to spend some time in the box in that 1-minute minor penalty. Munoz played awesome yesterday.
Yeah, he had a great start.
Rookie, first day out in the pro division and really stepped up, man. Had got some kills. He was the kill leader in that Ironman game.
And great shot there by Billy Bernaccia, shooting across the field, gumming down the snake, but maxing up. And look at Billy Bernaccia going to work.
Billy's looking real crisp in the morning. Man.
He is actually.
Wait, was that a major penalty on Billy Bernaccia? So just when we think things are going really well for Billy here in the snake, draws a major penalty on that run through, which is going to let Brian Bortle get into the snake here. So one player left alive on the snake side of the field for X Factor, but it's Todd Morrow. He gets shot out as well. So it's looking real good here for Vicious to fight through this penalty and put a point on the board to tie it up.
Right, and that X Factor, they want to kill as much clock on this as possible.
You know, and right now it's 138 left in that major penalty. However, the minor penalty came off Vicious, so they are now 5 strong. Coming down the wire, look at the run down the Doritos side.
So here we go, close match to start the morning out as Vicious Brian Bortle hanging that flag up. Score is going to be 1-0. Penalties already, man.
Yeah.
With a major and a minor within the first couple points.
And it looked like Billy's move, it looked, obviously from up here, it looked clean. Obviously the ref sees it a little bit differently down there, and we'll hopefully see a replay, but he's been playing great. And you can't have that.
Commentator suicide.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, let's check out the replay here. So we're going to see Billy Bernaccia make his move down the snake. He already got 1 kill from there. Let's see if we can see where the hit comes. Yeah, I can't really see from this angle.
I can see he's hitting the chest.
Yeah, he's hitting in that shoulder right there, and his left kind of right by his collarbone. Yeah, you can see he feels for it right there, and the referee saw it. So we see here again on the replay. Let's see if we can see when that actually hits him. It must have been...
He must have got shot from the inside, I think.
He must have got shot from the inside a little bit before, because there's that hit right there. So unfortunately for Billy Bernaccia and the rest of San Antonio X Factor, 1 minute and 24 seconds left on that major penalty Billy's going to have to spend in that box. But Vicious with 5 bodies alive, so now Vicious will be on the power play.
Well, knowing Todd's coaching style also, I can see Todd kind of going up the middle on the break here, trying to cut down one of the side or the other, getting a G on the break without question. That's pretty much what I think his game plan will be, personally.
Yeah, he's definitely going to attack. He did that yesterday, both matches. Right? And with him, he knows everybody out here, so he's going to go hard against everybody on those kind of moves.
So let's check out here a comparison between 2 key players for these teams. Munoz ranked 4th overall here at this particular event, because look at that, just such an awesome performance for him as far as how many people he is actually killing out there on the field. He's getting 1 kill per 1 elimination per point. Survival rating 50%, which is a little low for front players. And he's getting some spins out there. He's playing 40% of the points, but when you get a rookie coming in playing hot like that, you definitely want to get him some reps. Archie Montemayor for San Antonio X Factor, one of the best players ever to come out of Texas, and he plays that insert role for them. Here we go, start of the next point. X Factor on your screen right now, breaking out, down a body in that box. Billy Bernaccia, 1 minute and 17 seconds left. They also lose Grayson Goff right away. So 3 players left alive for X Factor. It's Dimitri Ninos, Archie Montemayor, and Dixon Yang are going to have to try to fight through this power play.
But Trevor Reeser getting shot down the wire on the snake side of the field, but Shane Colby coming up in the snake and filling that gap.
And we have both X Factor, Dimitri Ninos, and Vicious here in Snake 1 mirrored up against each other here. So,
you know, as a team, what do you do, Steve, right now? Do you sit there and just kind of wait out the penalty and hopefully?
Absolutely. If X Factor, they want to just grind this clock down and pray that they can get these guys out and hold on to this point here. Because if he can come out and make it, this game changes up a little bit.
Did you just say if he can come out naked? Wow, this is a PG show, man.
We can't see in the box, but you never know what's going to happen on it.
But, this is the day of quotes.
Look at his hand, wrote him down. Now, right there on the snake side of the field, number 20, Brian Bortle holding it down for Vicious.
Yeah, Bortle slipped a little bit. He had a little issues getting into that spot, was able to make it in clean, though. He has Shane Colby's front player in front of him, who's on your screen right now, shooting cross field. Dimitri Ninos, the rookie this year, coming out of the Texas Storm program and moving over to San Antonio X Factor.
If X Factor goes right, he's going to run into Colby, so let's see if he makes it.
Billy Bernaccia getting out of the box clean all the way to the back corner bunker on the snake side, mirroring up with Brian Bortle. So both front players here in the snake have a back player behind them to support. Very important here in paintball that you have those guns behind you rolling, so putting a lot of pressure. It's very important. You see these guys, tons of pods on their back, these back players. And Billy Bernaccia probably doesn't have as many pods as, say, a Matt Sossman or a Chris Hooker's going to have. But, you know, Billy's, it's always, if the front player has the capacity to do it, it's good to have somebody like that behind you because he knows what you need.
Yeah, you were one of the premier back players, back in the day. Well, I won't say back in the day, but you always were one of the premier back players. And Steve, you'd go out with a pot or two because A, you probably wouldn't shoot that much, and B, you'd probably be dead by the time you got to the second pot anyway.
That was my job. I did my job.
And
made sure
Maddie,
guys like Matt took care of
that
me.
was your job.
Maddie, you carry 15 pods.
Hey, you got to do your job out there,
Yeah.
right? Everyone's got a job to do. The front player's job is to get out there and do as much damage as he possibly can without dying, get in a good spot, be a thorn. Back player's job is to support his front player, be a massive gunfire, put a lot of pressure. When we talk about pressure, that means you want to shoot your gun a lot. You want to try to keep your opponents in their bunker and dominate them as much as possible. And it looks like we have the fourth member of our broadcast team, Lauren Kelly, on the sidelines with an update from the X Factor pits.
Hey guys, down here in the X Factor pit with Coach Ryan Brandt. Ryan, when you guys have a penalty like that and you have 90 seconds to burn, what's your strategy going in to make sure the other team doesn't get the lead?
Our main strategy is just to try to get wide and contain them so they can't just come right up the centers against us. Obviously, this time it worked out for us. Hopefully it keeps going. We're really loving getting in the penalty box this event, so hopefully we got it out of our way early and we can keep it strong going forward.
All right, well, this has been a long point. We'll see who takes the lead.
Yeah, this has been a long point. I don't think Dimitri here in the snake for X Factor has much snake. Has much paint. You're looking at Shane Colby right now, his opponent here in the snake, and I think Colby still has a pod. Can't quite tell from here, but still.
Yeah.
An X Factor in a must-win situation. I mean, it's a 1-to-1 game. 3 minutes left, or 13 minutes left in this game.
Yeah, you're right, Chris, because they went 0-2 yesterday, and like their coach Ryan Brandt had said, they spent a lot of time in the box and really like it spending time in that new penalty box.
And they're 0-2, so they need these wins, 2-2. In this bracket, you never know what's going to happen today, and they still have a chance to make it to tomorrow.
Well, they do. They need to win out today, but the problem that they put themselves, the situation the X Factor put themselves in, Vicious is 1-1. So if they win this match, well, then they are in a very good. They have a very good chance not to have to play to get relegated down to the Challengers division. Whereas if X Factor doesn't win this one, there's a good chance they are going to be playing in that relegation match.
Right, and you know one thing you can see on all these players, a lot of flaps on the back of their packs.
Yep.
That's never a good sign when you're this deep in the game.
And Chris, we haven't seen a lot of long points.
No, we really haven't. We've seen a couple, but not, like you said, this is a really fast, aggressive field. But it's situations like this, it just seems that you just got to, the person that's going to get the next elimination is probably going to win this point.
Yeah, well, we'll see here. Tense moments. 4 bodies left alive for San Antonio X Factor. 3 for Vicious, Brian Bortle, Shane Colby, and Keith DeVitt. Keith DeVitt is the only player alive on Omaha Vicious's Dorito side of the field. That's the pit side of the field, far side. Whereas they have 2 players at the top of your screen. You can see DeVitt. He's in a really good field position, actually at the 50-yard line, Dorito. So better field position for Omaha Vicious, even though they have 1 less body.
Right, and looking at this layout now, X Factor really needs to put pressure on Vicious's snake corner. So maybe Demetrius Ninos can run the highway and take out Cole because they got a 4-3 advantage. Trade that body in the snake player. That's your
job. You mean Brian Bortle here, the back player, or are you talking about Shane Colby in the snake?
Shane Colby.
Okay.
Because Ninos can run that highway, but they got to put pressure on him on Bortle in the back corner there, and he's just hanging out. Look at him. And as we say that, I gave him the curse. Billy Bernacchi gets taken out in their corner. So
well, let's see. That does even the body count up. Now Keith DeVitt runs to his death. So Keith DeVitt gets shot over there on the Dorito side, trying to push forward after clipping somebody out cross field.
And again, losing another player on the other side of the field.
So yeah, some deaths going back and forth here as Archie Montemayor takes the walk. So now it's 2-on-2, but spreading the field is San Antonio X Factor as Dixon Yang cuts towards the center to try to widen things out. Let's see if Shane Colby can get a shot on him, or is Colby going to get a shot on Yang here? And Dimitri gets shot out of his bunker, so only 1 player left alive. Dixon Yang gonna have to pull something out here for X Factor here in the center of the field. Colby closes the distance and gets that shot in on him. So nice job by Shane Colby and Brian Bortle to close this point out, as well as Keith DeVitt. Even though Keith DeVitt did get a little greedy over there on that Dorito side, he was able to shoot out Archie Montemayor and then eventually help his team get this point. So Omaha Vicious fighting back down bodies 3-4.
What a good point right there. I mean, nice controlled paintball by both teams. Unfortunately, X Factor coming out on the latter part of
the losing side of that. But yeah, you know, again, very good job by Omaha Vicious. They were in a pressure situation. They had 3 bodies left, with X Factor having 4 bodies, and they were still able to get that point victory here. So the score with 10 minutes and 58 seconds to go off that really long point is 2-1 in favor of Vicious. And there's Shane Colby's stats. Shane Colby playing very well that point for Vicious, and we're going to be right back after this.
Gets from ansgear.com to you. Using our fast and efficient processing method, your purchase is pulled, verified, and shipped to your door quickly and accurately. Every order is checked for accuracy 3 times before it leaves the warehouse. With your choice of free shipping on orders over $100 to next day, Saturday, or international shipping options, you get the products you need sooner and at an affordable price to get you back in the game. Shop now at ansgear.com.
So we're ready to roll here for the next point. Score 2-1, 10:58 on the clock. San Antonio X Factor losing to Omaha Vicious right now. And X Factor their backs are against the wall here to Chicago Open. Must-win situation for them. If they go 0-3, then there's a really good chance they could be playing to avoid getting relegated down to the Challengers Division on Sunday tomorrow. And off the break, bodies dropping on that Dorito side of the field for X Factor. And here comes that off-the-break shooting that we saw work so well for Vicious against the Ironman.
Yeah, they were shooting really good lanes in the break, but now X Factor, shooting one real quick, and then Billy Bonacci getting shot going to the snake. Now you see
the core of the team for Vicious, Zach Sherman and Brian Bortle, have combined for 8 confirmed kills already in 3 points. And now look at Munoz, gets all the way down way past the 50-yard line, onto X Factor's side of the field, and X Factor is forced to quickly concede that point.
Man, Vicious breaking from yesterday right to today. Good. They're looking good, man.
Well, the thing with Vicious is their keys to victory is that they need to finally coalesce and have their core members all play good at the same time. So we get a Zach Sherman and a Brian Bortle combining for 8 confirmed kills within 3 points. And that's good news for them. Also, they're finally getting that off the break shooting rolling because, let's be logical about this. The more players you shoot off the break, you can't help your front player more by shooting the guy in front of them. That's the best way to help them. And so Vicious doing a very good job of that. Their core's playing well. Their new rookies, Keith DeVitt and Munoz, are also playing awesome too. So, Vicious looking very strong right now. They beat the Ironman yesterday. They did lose a game yesterday as well to Infamous 7-4. But it would be huge for them to take a victory against San Antonio X Factor. And right now with the score 3-1, they're looking pretty good.
And this after 2 matches, this is X Factor's first time they've been down 3-1.
Yeah,
so let's see if they can come back now and battle back, because they've always had that. They had a 3-0 lead and a 4-0 lead yesterday, so they're down 3-1. Let's see if they can make a comeback here.
Yeah, so we're going to return to this match here in just a few moments. Stay with us. There's the rookie, Luis Munoz, getting ready to roll for Omaha Vicious. He had a great day yesterday, very big breakout day for him. It's always so nerve-wracking to play that first day in the professional division. And he had 7 confirmed kills in that Ironman game, but the core of the team is playing very well for Omaha Vicious, so they're looking really scary right now. Here we go on the breakout. Todd Morrow shooting towards the Dorito side off the break, then switches over to the snake side. You're looking at, there's Morrow, stand up, Temple, and Billy Bernacci gets right into that snake, attacking as he's well known for in the snake one. Nobody in the snake for Vicious yet, as Munoz gets shot out early.
Here's X Factor, Colt Roberts moving that Dorito side, and Billy Bernacci in the snake, so they're good on both sides of the field. Now let's see if they can continue to maintain this.
Big point for X Factor, man. Paintball's such a game of momentum, especially when you're under that 10-minute mark, 9 minutes and 33 seconds left to play here in this matchup. And, X Factor, when you're looking at their kill counts, they're looking pretty good, man. Grayson Goff, 2, Munoz, 2, Colt Roberts, 4, Bernacci, 3. The only one that doesn't have a confirmed kill is Todd Morley's still got a goose egg up there, but still.
They're playing. They're getting consistent play from their guys.
Well, the points are close. They're just losing the quick points, the close points, except for that last one they got blown out.
Exactly.
But here we go. So X Factor looking good on the Dorito side and on the Snake side. 3 bodies left alive for Vicious, Trevor Reeser, Zach Sherman, and Shane Colby. And Zach Sherman has 7 kills so far in this match, but he just gets taken out by Grayson Goss with a big gun as Zach Sherman comes off here. 2 bodies left alive now. 1, Shane Colby's last player left alive, and he's going to get tapped out. So now, finally, X Factor is going to pull within 1. So real close match to start the day out here. And that's what we were hoping to see.
Yeah, and if they can keep that consistency with Colt Roberts and Grayson, they both eliminated 2 players each in that point. So.
You know, and
Yep.
you know, most of these players, like he looks like he might have hurt himself. I mean, it's kind of slick out there right now because of the weather yesterday.
Yeah, we did get some rain yesterday. The grass is, you know, obviously some moisture early on in the mornings. And Ninos is like, hey, anytime you see that, I'm like, well, did he get shot at some point? Is he trying to get one of his boys over to hang the flag for him?
Yeah, your guys over there come have them check you out and don't kill. You're wasting time.
Well,
you're still down.
It looks like he was clean. We haven't seen the point go up on the board yet, but 18-14 to play, and the hang is good. So score now 3-2, still in favor of Omaha Vicious. Zach Sherman having a big game, 7 confirmed kills for him, and we're going to be right back after this.
Check this out, the Imperial program from GI Sports. Get 100% of your paint money back in cash. Sign up, win, paint's free. Take second, get half your paint cash back. Not good enough? How about more cash? Have your team rock our V-Force GI logo grills, get first place, then we'll throw you another $1,000 cash. Second place? No problem. We got $500 with your name on it. It's a total no-brainer. Sign up for the Imperial program at gisports.com.
There's San Antonio X Factor getting ready to play this next point here as both teams filtering out. Still Vicious doesn't have their starting line coming out yet. Matthew Sossman and Brian Bortle getting ready to roll.
You know, and I think, sorry to cut you off, Matty, I think what he was trying to do last point was trying to get his players off the field by, you know, waving his hand. He's like trying to get them off the field because if he doesn't hang the flag, he gives his players a chance to get in the pit, clean up, get some more paint, and kind of regroup a little bit. Then hanging the flag, you kind of rush back, you know, it's kind of for the old guys, I think.
Well, yeah. Well, with only 2 minutes in between points, it does require a little bit of pit efficiency in order to get geared up, aired up, and painted up, cleaned off, and ready to roll for the next point. So 20 seconds to go before the start of the next one here. 3-2 is the score. 8:14 left on the clock. On the field for X Factor, Billy Bernaccia, Colt Roberts, Archie Montemayor, and Grayson Goff. It's funny. I remember when X Factor first came up, just hearing all the names of the guys on that squad, I'm like, yeah, they're going to be a good paintball team. They have those like, crazy names.
Yeah.
So here we go. On the split screen breakout, X Factor on your left, Vicious on your right, and immediately up to the center for X Factor, Dixon Yang, and he's shooting towards that Dorito side, but no eliminations have come off that side yet.
You know, and it's easy to sneak up there to that center. They can't really see you sometimes if you come up, sneak out of the way.
And you've mentioned that a lot yesterday. A lot of teams weren't doing that. And look, Dixon's over there on the A, putting gun on that Dorito side, and Vicious tried to move up and he shot him. So,
and now
here he
Dixon,
comes.
now Dixon pushing past the 50-yard line, but he gets taken out very quickly by Matt Sossman, who makes a quick key bump.
A little too greedy, too fast. I mean, I like him going forward like that, but you don't need to do that. Maybe get another elimination and make that move.
Well, you know, especially when they're down by 1. We love it when guys play fast. It's very entertaining. But when Dixon already got himself 1 kill, shot Zach Sherman out, the big gun is Zach Sherman, but then Sossman was able to take him out. Billy Bernacci gets taken out as well, too. So a couple greedy deaths here by Billy Bernacci and Dixon Yang. And now Omaha Vicious looking like they're going to go on the attack. Sossman coming up on the Dorito side. Pushing down on the Snake side is Shane Colby. And X Factor forced to concede the point as it was just Grayson Goff stuck here in the back corner.
I mean, it was Dixon taking that move. That's a great move to make, but just a little bit too early, and especially with they're down 1. They just eliminated Vicious on the Dorito corner there, so I think he should have just been a little more patient because that move just opened up the door for Vicious because it just started falling apart for X Factor.
That's very true because now, Chris, when you were playing in your career, you would go up the center a lot as that attacker, but you want to ride that aggressive edge. You want to play aggressive up that center and take those opportunities when they present themselves. But patience is required up there.
Yeah, and I mentioned this yesterday. I mean, getting up in the center is semi-easy on this field.
For this field, yeah.
Lock it down, but don't go past the 50 until your players catch up with you. Then you're going to get hoppers and elbows and goggles and guns. That's just, he just, like you said, he bit off more than he can chew. He had a good spot. He has the right idea, but there's nobody up there helping him. So, you know, it was kind of a wasted body because he's getting shot and nobody's shooting the people shooting him.
And then, unfortunately for X Factor, Dixon Yang comes off, and then Billy Bernacci tries to get past the 50 on the snake side, and he gets taken out as well. So a little more patience is needed on the San Antonio X Factors in their mentality right now because, and again, situational awareness. If Dixon Yang got that awesome kill, I think the problem, what happened with that was that Sauceman made that bump across to that temple, and that he didn't pick that up. So when he went forward, he didn't realize that lane was open, or that lane was then shut down. He thought the lane was open. So, you know, and then he got taken out from there. So, unfortunately, now down 2. X Factor is now down 2 for them, but Vicious looking good again. And it looks like we have Lauren Kelly with interview in the Vicious pits.
Hey guys, down here with Park and Rosenthal for Vicious. This could be a point-by-point game. You guys are up 2 right now, 6.5 minutes on the clock, but what do you need to do to make sure that that point gap stays the same and you win this?
Well, what we need to do right now is just execute our strategy, get those kills off the break, smart, controlled paintball, and just get down the field. Right now we're up points, so we're going to try to just run the clock off and stay up. So,
what kind of strategy is Todd giving you in the pit?
Basically right now we're just... for the most part, we're just having, like I said, just shooting people off the break is our biggest thing right now, and talking. Lots of communication, because we struggle with that, so.
All right, we'll see how this point goes.
Communication such a huge fundamental part of this match, and that's definitely been one of the downfalls for Vicious over the years. And here we go. Off the break, it looks like Dimitri Ninos gets shot in the pack. Actually got shot in the side, in his hip. And look at this major penalty on X Factor, and you know, just when this is a clutch situation for them, they have to fight back as they're down 2 and getting it looks like a major penalty. And who was that on? Did you see who that was on?
You know, I really wasn't able to see it
Grayson,
right now.
possibly.
I think it was Grayson, unfortunately. You know, it looks like he got shot. He got shot in the side, running out to that can, Maddie. But look at number 77 going to work right now, Luis Munoz.
Yeah, so X Factor, as Colt Roberts also gets shot out of his bunker, not looking good right now, starting to fall apart. And when their backs are against the wall here. And now Vicious putting another point on the board, looking real good. You can see it, they're playing hype as Trevor Reeser's gonna run that flag in.
You know, and we talked about penalties, man, and unfortunately, and Grayson Golf is not one of those players to get major penalties, let alone any penalty.
Yeah, Grayson's plays pretty clean and statistically did so well in 2012. And not a guy that, you know, you hear us talk about Archie and Colt a lot, and they're fun players that are getting up there and trying to make things happen because they're in those perilous situations. But Grayson Goff, so consistent, such a great team player. He's a really good guy to build a team around. And I think that's one of the reasons that, you know, he's been a contributor on this team since its beginning. Ranked 28th overall, pretty solid on the kill percentage. Not super high on that, but look at that survivability. You know, it's so, we talk about pressure. A guy like Grayson Goff, that insert player that is able to stay alive and really win some gunfights, and if not necessarily shoot the guy out, control people and really work with his front players. And he's also very versatile. He can play on the snake side of the field. He can play on the Dorito side of the field. He goes up the center sometimes. He can fill in for a back player if somebody gets shot out behind him. Grayson Goff, one of the best players on that team, man. Great guy, too.
If you saw the stats, he had no penalties prior to that one just now. So, like,
yeah, I mean, like you said, man, we don't get penalties that much from him.
You don't see him penalty.
Yeah,
you don't
exactly.
see him getting that many penalties.
But he's very consistent. He's like a closer you want, like yourself. I mean, you want him in. He's pretty reliable.
Smart guy.
Yeah.
You know, guy's got a real high paintball IQ, Grayson Goff, and you know, he's got a great paintball name too.
Yeah, he does. George Ocean.
George Ocean.
And he's a really nice guy. Most of those guys in X Factor, you know, I've had the pleasure of hanging out with some of those guys on occasion, and they're super cool guys. You know, really genuine.
Great owner.
Yeah.
Alex Martinez.
Alex Martinez.
Alex Martinez is put together, and his mandate last year was, you're going to come to practice. We're trying to put this team together, which is why, you know, if you're an X Factor fan out right now, it looks like a timeout being called by X Factor. is it's really frustrating to see them come in here, dominate in the first 3 or 4 points yesterday in their games, and then fall apart with penalties and survivability issues. And then now here playing a game that they must win situation for them, as they went 0-2 yesterday. And they're playing a resurgent Vicious, who just won the Challengers Division, coming out at Mid-Atlantic Open, because Vicious played the first event, got relegated down, then they came back, won the Challengers Division. Now they're back and playing very well. So it looks like we have an update with Lauren Kelly on the sidelines.
Hey guys, down here with Scott Kemp in the X Factor pit. There have been a lot of problems with penalties so far this game. You have 1:14 left going into this point. What's going on with those penalties?
We just can't seem to stay out of the box all weekend long. Every match we've had a couple majors, and it's killing us. We were going over our stats last night of games we win when we're in the box, and we had actually 6 penalties and we lost 5 points. So yeah, it kills us. We can't win 4-on-5 and we can't seem to stay out of the box. I mean, we just got another red, and I think it was kind of BS. Grayson asked for a check, he didn't shoot his gun, and they threw a red. So.
All right, well, we still have time on the clock, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, you can see the frustration starting to set in the X Factor pits, and rightfully so. You know, down now 3 here with 5 minutes and 28 seconds left to go. However, with 1:15 left on this, and that will take us down to about the 4-minute mark. If they are able to fight back and score this point, get Goff out of the box, keep it within 2.
Plenty of time.
Plenty of time for them to mount a comeback to try to tie this up. So tense moments here for San Antonio X Factor in a do-or-die situation right now, because if you go 0-3, there's a really good chance you're playing to stay in the Champions Division. Which is not, and that is anti-X Factor right now. That's not what they want. The whole reason they're training as hard as they are and they put this team together with this refocused effort is they're tired of being a mid-level boss, man. They took 3rd at the World Cup, looked so good coming out of 2012.
And as we say that, they lose 2 players right on the break, so here comes Vicious right through the middle of the field.
Yeah, Munoz is hunting right now. So Munoz is going to run down. I believe that is Dixon Yang. So the rookie Munoz steps up and does a good run through, and here comes Brian Bortle to take out Billy Bernaccia. So now Omaha Vicious is 1 point away from closing this game out, putting 7 on the board here in this race to 7 points. First game of the day.
They're looking pretty good, man.
They are. Vicious looks good, man. They really do look good, because X Factor, this is a good team they're playing. I know the score doesn't necessarily reflect their experience or talent level or their work ethics, but it's why we play the games, man. Yeah, and these, all the stats are brought to you by PaintballAccess.com. Got a full crew over there on the opposite pit side of the field, categorizing, cataloging, crunching all the numbers, and check out those stats on the website.
So many people behind the scenes here that you don't actually see.
Well, let's look at 2 very key players here for Omaha Vicious. And Munoz, the rookie, man, looking really good here, is still keeping that real high kill percentage up there coming out of yesterday. And Brian Bortle, super consistent. And Brian's one of those guys that, now that they have some new blood, I mean, Brian's been one of their first attackers on the Snake side for years. Seen him have some really good points out there. And, they need to, if they want to win this tournament, which is what we really want to talk about with them. You know, with Vicious, like, Vicious is not here to try to just play professional paintball. Like, they want to win tournaments. They've never won a PSP professional tournament before. They dominated everyone as they made their run to become a professional team, just blowing out people in the divisionals. Won tons of tournaments and were winning championships. Then they got pro, and as everyone knows, I mean, there's over 200 teams here, but there's only 20 professional teams. So, the pace, the depth that you need on your roster, and they've done the moves that they need to pick. They picked up Todd Martinez in the offseason, the coach, and that I felt was the biggest thing, because, and yeah, they got some new blood like DeVitt and Munoz, but that they've always been lacking that. They've always been having to put game plans together internally, and to have that outside perspective come in and be able to just really at practices see who's playing best and what role every person can fit into. So here we go on the breakout. Can X Factor fight back here? 1 point away from losing. And off the break, Munoz all the way to Snake 1. He's able to get in there alive, shoots cross field.
They eliminate 2 Vicious players, so 2 Vicious players are down. So for X Factor, that's what you need to do here with 23 seconds left on the penalty, and We still got 4 minutes and 34 seconds left, so they're not giving up. I mean, that's what you want.
Yeah, but Vicious loses another one on the Dorito side, so nobody on the Dorito side of the field. It's just Trevor Reeser and Munoz left alive over here on the Snake side, so X Factor has an opportunity to push down that side, but looks like Vicious is just going to concede that point.
And
So-
put X Factor to start
with
one of the
so
box.
4. Yep.
Yeah.
And we talked about that crucial 7 seconds. You think about it. It's 15 balls a second. That's
Or-
7 times 7 seconds, right? 13?
12 and a half.
12 and a half, sorry.
But the thing is that when we talk about this a lot. When you start, that's a good call by the coach over there for Vicious to concede. They're still up 3, okay, with 4 minutes and 20 seconds to go. But keeping that 7 seconds on that major penalty is basically taking 20% of the firepower off of San Antonio X Factor for 7 seconds. And on a field like this, when you have to break out and roll your guns at the same time, and that also gives you the opportunity to actually game plan it out. Okay, where can we get a guy to watch the box from both sides of it off that break?
and see if they can get him creeping out.
And there's been a lot of success of people coming out of the box. Usually before, typically we had the netting. Coming out of the box was almost certain
Get
death.
pummeled.
However,
Yeah, depending on the situation.
Yeah.
But, so here we go. About a minute left to go before the start of this. Could be the last point if Vicious is able to prevail here. And then next up we have LA Infamous taking on the Los Angeles Ironman. Really looking forward to watching that matchup. And then after that we have Dynasty going to play Vicious. And I think that's going to be a big test for Vicious because Dynasty is the team to beat here. Looked pretty good yesterday as they defeated X Factor 7-5, and then they took down the Ironman 7-5. So it wasn't pretty. They weren't blowing teams out, but they were winning games and winning games with 7 points. So Dynasty, they won the first 2 events, and I think that's when Vicious goes to play them in the next match after the infamous Ironman game, we're really going to see where Vicious is actually at. So here we go.
and also Todd also coming out of the Dynasty camp at one point in time, so he's going to want to win that game extra strong as well.
Yep. 5 seconds. Let's see if X Factor can mount a last-minute comeback here. They are only down 3. It's definitely possible to score 3 points in 4.5 minutes. And they're about to get their player out of the box. Here comes Grayson Goff, and he chooses to go snake side. He's going to double up with Ninos. Ninos then moves up. And now you're looking at Vicious on your screen there. Ninos gets into the snake, immediately past snake 1. He knows he has to play aggressive over here. No choice. He must push forward into the guns of Omaha Vicious. And Omaha Vicious, 5 bodies alive for them. And they are rolling their guns hard right now. So there comes 1 off. Looks like Ninos got that shot cross
Took out
field.
Zachary Sherman on the Dorito corner
The
there.
top killer for Vicious right now, Zach Sherman coming off early shot by Colt Roberts actually on the Dorito side. And then now Shane Colby dies. So now Ninos makes his way all the way onto Vicious's side of the field over here on the snake. And Munoz, Sauceman, and Bortle just tucking in as much as they can and rolling their guns, trying to stop the aggressive push of San Antonio X Factor. Time ticking off this clock. There's another kill for Ninos. Dimitri in there doing some work.
And they got to keep going. 3 minutes left.
This game still isn't far from over. There's 3 minutes left, 3-point spread. It is possible, Matty.
Yeah, absolutely, especially as this point is going to be scored here. Zach Wake getting out here to get a point. And he's going to grab that flag. And so with probably about, he's got to sprint that in as fast as possible, keep all the time on the clock. 2 minutes and 50 seconds left. We got ourselves a 2-point game. This would be a huge story and a big win for X Factor if they could mount a 2-point comeback here in 2 minutes and 50 seconds and tie this up to take it to overtime.
We talked about Zach Wake, he's getting penalties and in the box. However, we also said that when he's on the field, he's actually playing really well.
Well, that's always the thing with Zach. Zach's a big talent, man. He's very athletic. He's played on a lot of big teams. He's got a lot of experience under his belt in big games, playing against some of the best players in the world. But he's just constantly one of those guys you never know when he's going to get a penalty. So here we go. Can San Antonio X Factor mount a comeback against Omaha Vicious, who's up 2 points again against them 6-4? We will see in just a few moments. Stick around. Welcome back here, 2013 PSP Chicago Open, brought to you live by PaintballAccess.com. And we are here at the beautiful Challenge Park Extreme in Joliet, Illinois. Matty Marshall alongside Steve Rabikoff and Chris Lasoya, two paintball legends, helping us with the play-by-play and color commentary. And right now, in case you're just tuning in, the story's been Omaha Vicious playing very well this event. They did go 1-1 yesterday as they lost to Los Angeles Infamous, but were able to take down the LA Ironmen. And now they have a 2-point lead against San Antonio X Factor, who has yet to win a match so far at this event. With 2 minutes and 50 seconds left, they are trying to mount a comeback. They finally get Grayson Goff out of the box, so at full strength here, 5 bodies alive for both teams. Split screen breakout, X Factor on your left, Vicious on your right. Heavy guns for Vicious in that center off the break and able to get 2 kills. So that is probably gonna do it as Archie Montemayor and Zach Wade come off immediately for Omaha Vicious. Vicious there getting checked out by the referee, top right-hand portion of your screen. And it looks like he's clean. Now getting in the snake is Brian Bortle, and he gets a shot cross field on number 44, Grayson Goff. So not looking good for X Factor right now.
When you're the last player alive, you don't want to be in the snake.
Yeah, because Bortle could just jump over the snake and run him down on the highway. Or no, he's gonna, nope. So X Factor concedes the point. Nope, they haven't conceded the point. So it's just Billy. They can't really, because if they concede the point, it's going to give Vicious the win. But regardless, it doesn't matter. There is Brian Bortle pumping his fist in the air. Trevor Reeser grabbing that flag. And Omaha Vicious looking real solid here in Chicago. 2-1 is going to be their record thus far in this event. And we talked to Todd Martinez, our co-host up here, and also the coach for Vicious. And he said, I'll tell you what, if we beat this team, we don't need to worry about getting relegated. And if we beat Dynasty, then we're going to probably potentially be in the show. So,
and they look, they came up to the challengers, they won, they're here, and they're here to stay. They want to stay, they don't want to go back down, and that's what you want from those guys.
Every single team here, all 20 teams that comprise the Challengers Division and the Champions Division, they're putting their squads together to win tournaments, win champion tournaments. I mean, yeah, it'd be cool to win the Challengers League and come up back into the Champions Division. Pat yourself on the back a little bit, but for that, as you know, got teams like Excessive, Moscow Red Legion, Thunder, Chicago Aftershock are down in the Challengers Division, fighting for the right to earn their spot. Yeah, Excessive, and to earn their spot in this Champions Division, which comprises the 10 best teams in the entire world at any given time. Because of the way that this format works. 2 teams will get from the champions will get relegated down, and 2 teams from the Challengers Division will bump up. And it looks like we have the coach of Omaha Vicious on the sidelines with Lauren Kelly.
Hey guys, I'm here with Vicious coach Todd Martinez. Congratulations on your win. What have you focused on with the Vicious camp to make them really step up in this champions bracket?
Well, it's all comes down to little things. You know, when you get into big games like this, you know, it all comes down to little things. You know, every snapshot, every head check, you know, every move you make. But, you know, the number one most important thing is always communication. You know, you really got to talk, you know, get good information across the field so you can make good decisions.
So what do you do when you feel one of your players is underperforming during points?
Well, I go buy him Starbucks, and then I tell him to sit down and get comfortable and get, you know, get something to, you know, kind of take something off his mind so he can watch the game.
All right. Well, congratulations on your win. You got one more match today. We'll see how it goes.